Hi everyone, welcome back to May Blossom Design. If you are new here, I'm Carlin and this is Cash, who is never far away from me. I'm a Manitoba-based potter and in Manitoba, Canada. And yeah, I thank you for stopping by and watching my video. I want to also say a huge thank you to each and every one of you who do watch my videos, who are new, returning, everything, because I have officially been on YouTube for 1 year now. I mean, I've been a member of YouTube for multiple years. We won't count that because it will age me greatly. But I have been officially posting and growing my community on YouTube for 1 year. And I just want to say the hugest thank you to each and every one of you who has helped me with that, because I think this community is great. And I've said it multiple times and I will continue saying it because it is really a wonderful community. And I thank all of you for letting me join and letting me be a part of it. So yeah, thank you so much. And I hope to continue this YouTube journey for many, many more years because it's wonderful. It's fun, and it's an outlet for me to have all of my creativity in one place and share it with everybody, with my introverted side that I like to keep to myself. I can share it with everybody and I don't have to be in a social setting where I am extremely awkward, which I mean, you guys have, if you've watched my videos, you know that I'm a little awkward when I'm not in a social setting. But anyway, long story short, I appreciate each and every one of you and I can't wait to see where we can continue going with this YouTube journey. So I appreciate each and every one of you for helping me grow to having a community. But let's get started on today's video. It is a fun one. Yeah, it's a fun one. I have been talking about making mini pottery for many months now. And today is finally the day. I am going to show you how I'm going to make mini mugs for the Christmas tree. I sold out at my market. So if you watched my market vlog last week, I sold out of every single one of those little mugs. They were a hit and they're so fun to make. So I thought I'm going to show you all how to make them, because when I post this, you'll still have enough time, hopefully, to make them before Christmas. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to make them. The other exciting thing is a company called Alldeer messaged me and asked me if I would be interested in getting one of their mini pottery wheels and reviewing it for you all. So I said, absolutely, of course, because I knew I wanted to make a mini pottery video. So why not try out a new pottery wheel and let you know all how it thinks, or let you know how I think it works. So let's get it opened and let's see what we got. So I believe Alldeer, I think they sell through Amazon. There is a link down in the description below to this wheel, and I believe they have it in Canada and the States for sure. Other places I'm not sure, but I do know that they do have in Canada and the States. When they shipped it to me, it came so quickly, as in like less than a week. And usually, like, there is no such thing as, I mean, there's such thing as like Amazon Prime and stuff like that, but there is no such thing as 2-day shipping where I live. It doesn't exist. But this came within like 3, maybe 4 days. That's very quick, very quick. But anyway, so we just have some packing supplies. So it does come with some tools. So we have a sponge, needle tool. Oh, I'm happy because I love these needle tools. They're great. Also, I love these wooden ribs. Wonderful. They come with a wire tool, some trimming tools. We'll get those open because I will make that with that. Obviously, your instruction manual. Oh, this is cute. Then a little apron. That's great. Okay. Oh, it comes with clay. Okay, well, it comes with clay. I think for this demonstration, I'm going to show you with my clay because I'm going to be making these for me. Yes, I will show you how to use with regular pottery clay because this is a pottery channel. So I'm going to use my pottery clay. But if I get time, I will try it with this as well, if we get time. But I'm going to focus on the wheel today, not necessarily the clay. So it does come with some other tools here. So I use these tools also. I purchased those tools before. I think and it comes with some paint. So you can paint. This must be air dry clay. Let me just take a quick peek here. Yes, it is air dry clay. So this is obviously usable with air dry clay. So obviously it comes with your instruction manual and some paint to paint your things, aprons. Now let's get to the good stuff. To your power cord and your wheel. Okay. So it's a super cute little wheel. I believe this has a 6-inch wheel head. Oh, shiny. And the splash pan. Oh, it's removable. So we'll clean it after too, and I will see how well it cleans. Because sometimes I find with mini wheels, they leak. Yeah, sometimes they leak. But we shall see. My apologies about that. Okay. I can already say that I really like the fact that the power is at the back. I have a different wheel and the power adapter is at the front. I don't like that. But this one is at the back. So we're starting off with a good start. Okay, so it has forward and reverse, or left or right, whichever way you throw. It's totally adaptable, obviously. It is a little bit loud, but I haven't found a mini wheel that's not. Yeah, I haven't found a mini wheel that's not. So I'm just going to take a quick peek at the instructions to make sure that I didn't miss anything. It doesn't look like it. Okay, so let's get this stuff out because we will use their tools. All right, so we're a little bit closer. I have everything set up. All you're gonna need when you make these mini mugs, because like I said, this is like a little tutorial review kind of at the same time. When you make these mini mugs, all you're gonna need is some water for throwing, a sponge, which they brought you a handy dandy sponge, for cleanup. You are going to need some sort of trimming tools, which this will work fabulous, as will this. And you will need a wire cutter for cutting it off the base. Now, and then we'll get to the handle part after, but then you need some clay. So you can use the air dry clay that they provided, but I am going to show you with pottery clay because that's what I do on this channel. I'm not experienced enough with air dry clay to give you any sort of info on that, but this little wheel and this pottery clay, I can do that. So this is Plainsman 340S, and I use, because with shrinkage and all that kind of stuff, you want to use a little bit more than you think, but these are anywhere between 3 to 5 ounces. So I've said this many times, we're sisters, never twins in this house. So I just kind of eyeballed it, and that's kind of what they came out to. So we're going to make 2 different styles of mugs today. We're going to do the straight walled mug, and then we're going to do the bellied mug, which is basically the styles of mugs that I make on a regular basis. So we're just going to make them mini. So let's get started. I'm just going to move you down. So with mini pottery, it's just like regular pottery in a sense. It's not exactly the same because you have to use your fingers more so than the palms and your wrists. You use more so your phalanges. Okay, so then, and like I said, I really appreciate this cord being at the back. So far, so good. Okay, so I'm gonna go, I turned it onto the rotation that I need. And I'm just gonna turn the wheel up. It is loud, I'll give it that. So this is full speed. Okay, hold on. I need to stick it better to the wheel. Okay. So we are full speed. And then you just want to start throwing. So I'm just going to cone. Okay, so I'm going full speed. It is loud. Okay, so once you're centered and your puck is as big as you want your mug to be, just like normal, you're gonna drill down to the center. Now, I also, hopefully you can hear this, hopefully you can hear me. I do very minimal trimming on my mini mugs. So, and then we're just gonna pull it open when you've got your base done, and then compress your base just like normal. But yes, I do very minimal trimming on these pieces. So we're gonna slow it down. I do very minimal trimming on these pieces just because I keep them at a price point that is super low. And then I'm just gonna pull my walls. Compress your rim. It's very similar to anything else that you're gonna throw. Actually, it's exactly the same. You're just, like I said, you're just using your fingers instead of your palms and your wrists, I guess. I think the only complaint that I would have as of right now is that it really doesn't like when you push down at all, which of course in pottery you do need to do that. But it is keeping up, like I'm able to, it is keeping up, that's for sure. So then we're just gonna move all our excess water. I think I'm gonna do one more pull. One more little pull. Okay, there we go. Now, if you do wanna cut your rim, by all means, you can do that now. I'm just gonna take my wooden tool. I should have put you on the other side because I think you can see. Maybe for the next one I'll switch you. And then we're just gonna trim off any excess. And then we will take our rib Just slowed it down just a touch. And I am going to cut this room because it's a little wobbly. So another thing with mini pottery is I don't have like a mini bat at all. So I have to be able to take these off the wheel, right? So now I'm just gonna clean my fingers. We're going to take our wire tool that they gave us. I am gonna switch the angle, I think, because I think you guys can see me better if I do it the other way, but we'll finish this one first. Okay, so now we take our wire tool and you want to do it pretty quickly, and you want to pick up with not the, like, yeah, you need to kind of have, you need to pick it up with multiple points of touching. Okay, so I'm going to switch the angle to the other side so it's a little bit easier for you to see me. So just like anything, there's always a learning curve. And miniature pottery is no different, because you almost kind of have to like retrain your brain, especially if you've only ever done like regular sized pottery or ceramics or anything like that. With miniature pottery, you have to kind of train your hands to work a different way. So there's a learning curve on it no matter what wheel you use. But I did find that with this wheel, if I just reposition my hands just a little bit, I had a way easier time centering my clay. So as in, if I could say rest my hand more so on the splash pan rather than the wheel itself, I had an easier time centering, I had an easier time pulling, an easier time overall with any piece of these, with any of these little mugs that I threw. But yeah, I think they turned out great. And I did make two different styles of mini mugs. So I made a straight walled mug, and then I made a bellied mug, because that is what I throw in my studio on a regular basis anyway, is straight mugs and bellied mugs. So I just kept with that theme. So that is basically how I throw my mini mugs. It is, well, it's exactly like how I throw my large mugs, but just with my fingers instead of my whole hand. But that's essentially what all mini pottery is you're just retraining your brain to work with your fingers, not necessarily your hands. And yeah, this is a really fun, super simple, easy project. And if you have a mini wheel, it works great. That's what I threw my other ones on. If you don't have a mini wheel, you definitely could do these probably on the hump, or you probably could also do them on a large wheel. They would just kind of be, it might just be a little bit more difficult, but you definitely could do them on a large wheel as well. But super fun project. The cleanup of this wheel, it was super easy. And I was really happy with how well the splash pan actually contained all of the mess. Now, just like with every single pottery wheel, it doesn't matter. Well, no, that's not true. With most pottery wheels, there is a little bit of leakage in the splash pan, but yeah, it was very minimal with this. And like the mess that you just saw, that was me dumping it on the side. It was pretty much all contained otherwise. But yeah, super easy to clean it off. Just wiped it off. I was able to dump my throwing water into my reclaim bucket, and then I just washed the tray and was good to go. So what are my thoughts on the Alldeer mini wheel? Well, first of all, it's a little noisy, but they all seem to be, so not a big deal. My second thought is, if you remember in the beginning, I did mention that these balls of clay that I prepared were 3 to 5 ounces. So not a whole lot of clay if you think about it in the grand scheme of clay things. But if I would have made them any bigger, I don't believe that this wheel would have handled it. I think that this wheel is meant for miniatures, like very small amounts of clay, because the motor just doesn't have enough power to really help you move a large amount of clay. And 3 to 5 ounces is not a large amount of clay by any means. But I do think that if I wasn't making just mini mugs, if I was making miniatures, then I probably would have had an easier time. Now, I did kind of learn, just like anything, using a new wheel or a new product, there is a learning curve to everything. So I think like once I learned where my hand worked the best and which way to manipulate the clay the best, I did have an easier time centering and pulling my pieces. So I will say that once I kind of learned what the wheel could and couldn't do, I had an easier time. I had an easier time. And 3, the cleanup was quite easy. I mean, the splash pan did leak, but it has quite a nice splash pan. I've used other mini wheels that their splash pan is flush with the wheel, and it just doesn't really do anything. I mean, it catches the water that comes off the wheel, but that's about it. This didn't really make a big mess on my table. There was on my tools, obviously, but that's because I was using the tools. But yeah, cleanup was really easy. The splash pan comes on and off quite easy. And yeah, I think that overall it's a pretty okay little wheel. I think that if you're looking for something to give miniatures a try on, I don't think it's a bad deal. I do think that if you're somebody that is struggling with like learning pottery and you think that working on a smaller wheel is better, no. I don't believe that this wouldn't help you at all, because like I mentioned before, with the motor not having a super high amount of power, it is really hard to center if you don't already know how to do it. But yeah, overall, I think it's a not bad buy. Yeah, I think it's a not bad buy. It's quite inexpensive. So if you're looking for something to try miniatures on, because throwing miniatures on a great big wheel is a little bit harder as well, because it has almost too much power for a little miniature. So you got to find the happy medium. But yeah, I don't think that this is too bad. I don't think this is a bad deal at all. I do also think that it is great that they include air dry clay. Now, I did not use their air dry clay in my review. One, because I don't use air dry clay. So I don't think that that's fair to review something that I have never used before in the craft product sense. And I pretty much always work with regular clay. So that's what I did my review with. But I have seen others use their clay and it works just fine. So I do think that it's great that you get with your kit clay so that you can try it as soon as you take it out of the box. Don't have to wait for anything. You can do it right at home. And air dry clay is a lot more accessible than pottery clay. Plus you don't need a kiln. So that is also a great thing as well. So keep that in mind. If you are looking for a gift for a potter or a crafter or somebody like that, this is a not bad gift, I would say. I would say that it has pretty good value. Anyway, I'm going to let my mini mugs dry some more. Then I will come back, trim them, and show you how we're going to put handles on our mini wheels. Mini mugs. Can you tell? It's Tuesday. And yeah, I'm already losing my words. I don't know. The week's just getting away from me. Like, the closer to Christmas we get, the more my brain goes, I tell you. So it is the next day. We need to trim our little mugs. Like I mentioned earlier, I don't particularly like trimming these mugs because I like to keep the cost down. So basically all we're going to do is I take this metal rib that came with the little mini wheel, and I just kind of go through, and if there's any spots that are like raised or anything like that, I just kind of get rid of them. Nothing too crazy, and it's really simple. Then once I'm done that, you just take your sponge and I smooth everything out. Like I said, I keep everything really simple with these mugs because I keep them at a price point that is pretty low. So I don't want to spend a ton of time trimming them, because if I did, I'd have to like double the price, and I don't really want to do that. But I'm also not going to any more markets. Not this year anyway. Okay, so there we go. Trimmed and done. Super simple. Now we're going to do the handle. So I'm just going to put you down and show you what I do. So I just take clay, the same clay that these are made out of, which these are 340S. Can't remember if I mentioned that yesterday or not. And I just make a coil. Sorry if my camera wobbles, but okay. So I just roll out my slab or coil to about, I'd say about 1/4 of an inch, not real thick. Then I like to rub a little bit of water on it because these can dry out so quickly. Plus it also helps smooth out, because I have canvas on my board, it kind of helps smooth out those marks so I'm not left with little canvas marks all over my piece. So then I just shape my handle. I always make it a little bit bigger just in case I need to trim it. And then you just trim whatever you need to. Then I take my scratcher.
You have to tell her, Aria, before somebody else does. And you'll lose both of them.
Then I take my slip. And whoops, because this is fresh clay, you probably could get away with just water, but I like using slip because I like making sure that everything is very connected. So then you just take your piece or your handle.
I wish I was sister smart enough to steal papers from. Using Melissa's paper was supposed to be a stopgap. If I ask Shelter to withdraw the essay, he'll know something's wrong.
You do the wiggle. Make sure it's straight. And there you go. You let it sit. So now I let this sit until it starts to set up a little bit, because you want to be able, because I'm not using coils to connect them, you want to be able to kind of push it around to even it out. And you want the slip to be a little bit harder for that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this second one while that one sits up. And then I will show you what I do with the next part. Okay. So this one has been sitting for a little bit longer than these other two. So we're just going to work on that one. So all I'm going to do is just take my slip brush and, just like I said, push it in to all the cracks, just like you do with every handle that you make, or that's how I make every handle. I push it all into the cracks. Yeah, it's as simple as that. You just smooth it up, or smooth it, I guess. And like I said, I don't add coils or anything to these because I do want to keep it as laborless as I can. Now, if you do find that you have a piece that you can't get a piece to kind of mesh nicely, you can use like a soft silicone tip thing, or you can use, well, you could probably use your finger too. But I'm just going to use this soft tool. and then just blend it in. And then I just go in, touch it up. So then I just take my water and I go through the whole piece, or the handle, I guess, and I smooth out wherever I feel like it needs to be smoothed out. And there we go. So it is super simple to make these little things. That's essentially it for making these little mini mugs. Then you want to bisque them to cone 04. I'm not going to show you how to do all that in this video. I just wanted to show you how to make these so that you could get going, because I knew that if I waited to bisque these, glaze these, and do it all in one video, I would not get this out before the holiday season was over. So this is how I make my mini mugs. And I think that there should be enough time for you guys to make your mini mugs too. Now, I do put them in a bin like this, and I leave them in there for at least 2 days to mesh together. Because they are so small, they definitely dry a whole lot quicker than a regular mug, obviously. But yeah, once they're dry, bisque them to cone 04, or if you're making them with a different type of clay, bisque them to whatever bisque your clay needs. Then the possibilities are endless. You can glaze them however you want. I'll throw in a clip of all the mugs that I made that came out of the kiln in one batch. And yeah, you guys, the possibilities are endless with these teeny tiny little mugs, and I think they are such a fun holiday project. And even if they're not for the holidays, you could make them like little shot glasses or a kid's tea set. They're super cute and they're super fun, and there's so many different possibilities. You could make these with air dry clay on this mini wheel. You definitely could. Now, if you are looking at this mini wheel, definitely check out the discount code that is in the description below, because for 20% off, it's only for a limited time. So if you are looking for a mini wheel, go and check out the Alldeer wheel. Otherwise, happy making. And if you guys try these out, let me know. Like I said, they're a super fun, quick holiday project that make your tree look really cute. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. If you haven't already, please consider liking and subscribing. And otherwise, I will see you all in the next video. Bye, everyone.